All right, let's talk about something that I think everybody struggles with at some point. How do you take that flash of inspiration, that amazing idea, and actually turn it into something real? Something that genuinely changes your life?
You know the feeling, right? You finish a book and you are absolutely on fire. You're ready to take on the world, but then a week goes by and that motivation is gone. Life is pretty much the same and you're left just wondering, what happened? Why didn't it stick?
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. See, inspiration feels great, but it's temporary, it's passive. A method, though, that's totally different. It's built to last, it's all about action, and it's designed to create real change. Today, we're going to dig into how one piece of timeless inspiration was transformed into exactly that, a powerful modern method. So let's jump in. Our story actually starts more than 100 years ago, with a book that made a really bold claim. So way back in 1910, a guy named Wallace Wattles published The Science of Getting Rich, and here was his crazy idea. He said creating wealth isn't about luck or some special talent. Nope. He argued it's a predictable science, just like algebra. You follow the formula, he said, and you get the result. I mean, for that time, that was a totally radical idea.
But here's the catch. While the mindset he taught was undeniably powerful, the book was written for a completely different world. It gave you these incredible principles, this amazing vision, but it was missing a clear step-by-step plan for someone trying to make it work today in the 21st century. It left this huge gap between the theory and the actual doing.
So, how do you bridge a gap that big? Well, that leads us right to the next part of our story and one person's mission to finally crack the code.
Okay, so let's fast forward about 20 years ago. We meet Gerry Knackman, that's pronounced Knackman, and he's at a real low point in his career after a business failed. He happens to find Wattles' book and just becomes completely obsessed with it. So he starts this journey, spending years on countless business flights, just breaking down the text and building a system to put it all into practice. And the results? They were absolutely life-changing. He ended up achieving a top 2% net worth, all by using the very system he created.
So what is it about this method that's so different? How does it actually take that powerful old-school mindset and turn it into daily, effective action? Let's take a look under the hood.
Well, it all starts with what you could call radical focus. The method makes you cut through all the noise, all the distractions, and zero in on just 3 things. The 3 most important goals or desired outcomes that will have the biggest impact on your life. Right now. Seriously, in a world that's trying to pull you in a million directions, that kind of clarity is a superpower.
Now, this is a really crucial point. Some people misinterpreted that original book as being about the law of attraction. Just passively thinking about your goals and hoping they appear. This method is built on something totally different, what he calls the theory of action. It's not about waiting, it's about doing. The whole system is designed to put you in the driver's seat, for people who want to make things happen, not just wish for them. Okay, so how do you get from where you are to where you want to be? This is where it gets incredibly practical. The method introduces this concept of the resources gap, and it's not some fuzzy idea, it's simple math. Say your goal is a net worth of $2 million, and you currently have $500,000. Your gap is $1.5 million. All of a sudden, your dream isn't this abstract thing anymore. It's a specific, solvable problem. And you measure that gap using what the method calls the 3 C's. You've got capital, your money and financial assets. You have contacts, your network, your clients, your partners, and you have competence, your skills, and your knowledge. So the key here is that you're not just vaguely working on your goals, you're taking very specific actions to increase these 3 resources.
But look, a formula is totally useless if you don't apply it day in and day out. And that's where the engine of this entire system comes in, the 100-day action journal.
This journal is basically a complete implementation system. It gives you this incredibly clear template. You define your outcome, you calculate the exact resources gap, you figure out why that gap exists, and then you define the specific actions you need to take to close it. There's no fluff, it's just a direct blueprint for action.
And the daily process itself, it's almost shockingly simple. Every single day, you just focus on 3 specific action steps. That's it. 3. The power is in that simplicity. It's what stops you from getting overwhelmed and makes sure you're always making consistent, measurable progress.
And that brings us to what might be the single most important part of the entire method. It's this one simple sentence you have to complete every single evening. Today, I moved closer to my realized outcomes by. This step is non-negotiable.
It creates the daily accountability that turns your intentions into actual achievements. This is the engine that drives the whole thing forward.
So, it turns out the bridge between that flash of inspiration and real-world results is a consistent, focused method. It's all about moving from thinking to doing, and this system gives you the blueprint for that. If you want to dive deeper, the link is right there in the description. So the only question left is the one on the screen. What action will you take today?